Kalen DeBoer ready for this week against Mercer. And moving on, we're rocking and rolling right here on a Monday. Hottest show in these streets, talking Bama. Football news in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. As always, we bring you the show from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you through YouTube. Speaking of a channel, you go ahead right now and you tap that subscribe button. You get subscribed right now on YouTube to the #1 place, your source for all things Bama football. Hit that thumbs up as well. Tap the like button. Smash the like button. Show us some love. Help us out right here on the channel. We appreciate that. The daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 right there. We appreciate that from you. A lot of topics tonight, Eli. What did we learn from Alabama's impressive, dominant win over LSU on the road, silence in Death Valley? We'll talk about that. We'll get into a huge update at the Wolfbacker position, an injury and a suspension. So what happens now at that Wolfbacker spot for Alabama? We'll talk about that. We'll even get into, has Alabama officially found its identity on both sides of the football? We'll get into all three of those and get to your phone calls tonight. 205-448-1358 for the number to call in to let your voice be heard. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from all of you. But Eli, we're going to pop into it right now. Topic number one, what did we learn about this team, right? You go in the Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, hostile environment. They didn't even have Mike the Tiger, his cousin Omar, have to step in. Like, you see how crazy that was? You go into Death Valley, you're playing LSU in Baton Rouge. Everybody on the ESPN College Game Day said, except Nick Saban, because he knew better, chose LSU over Alabama. The whole week, last week, what was the conversation? Can Kalen DeBoer handle this stage? Can DeBoer handle this environment? Can DeBoer go down there and really get the job done? Well, DeBoer did just that. 42-13, shutting down one of the most explosive offenses in college football, and then victimizing Brian Kelly again. In the post-game press conference, I've never seen Brian Kelly look so sad in my life. The man just looked absolutely dejected in the post-game press conference. Why? Because in two matchups against LSU, Jalen Milroe, 340 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns. But we get into what do we learn in this matchup? So first and foremost, we learned this. Jalen Milroe's back to his confident self. We learned that, okay? Prior to the LSU game, there was something off there with Milroe. He didn't look like himself. He didn't have that same burst in terms of the running ability. He didn't have that same confidence as a playmaker. Something was missing there. And the bye week came at the right time to get him back right, but most importantly, for he and Nick Sheridan to be on that same page together where this offensive game plan was going to be in terms of the LSU matchup. And Nick Sheridan had that offensive game plan right, starting with Jalen Milroe, getting him on the attack early. And what happened? Oh, the only thing Milroe did was carry the ball 12 times for 185 yards, almost a 200-yard day. Had 4 touchdowns. Had a 39-yard run for a score that got the party jumping. Had a 19-yard touchdown run, a 10-yard touchdown run. Oh, and by the way, a 72-yard touchdown run to where Milroe said, bye-bye. You can't catch a speeding bullet. Holler at a player when you see him in the street, baby, I'm gone. 72 yards to the hizzy, the house. Scored that. And hit that at 23.4 miles per hour on the catapult system. The guy ran so fast, he had Jim Nagy of a Senior Bowl going, what in the world was that? Even Jim Nagy was impressed right there. So Jalen Milroe did his thing in the run game. Why? Because LSU has had problems stopping the run all season. South Carolina ran the ball on them. Texas A&M ran the ball on them. So it was only fitting for the best running quarterback in college football, that being Jalen Milroe, to do the exact same thing. He didn't have to throw the football. I mean, yes, he completed 12 of 18 passes for 109 yards to keep LSU honest. Quite a few of those were third down conversions. Alabama 10 of 13 on third down. But you didn't really have to throw the football in this game because of LSU's inability to stop the run. Now, of course, there were two deep shots that Jalen Milroe would love to have back. One Ryan Williams had in his hands, but Hollywood just couldn't quite hold on to it. If not for the rain, I think he catches that football. The other one, Emmanuel Henderson, was wide open. Milroe led him just a bit too much there, but hey, I digress. He's back to his confident self playing that matchup there against the LSU. The number two thing we learned, how about Nick Sheridan? Sheridan, from start to finish, his most complete game as an offensive coordinator. Give it up for Nick Sheridan. All right. High five there for Nick Sheridan across the board. Hey, we criticize him. When he messes up, we're going to boost him up when he does his job. And Nick Sheridan over the weekend did his job. He did it so well that he left the play call booth with 6 minutes left to go in the game. That's what you're supposed to do. When you dominate like that, when you quiet them folks like that, when you frustrate them so bad that they throwing beer bottles on the field and getting fined $250,000, when you dominating like that, to where you got Brian Kelly looking sad like a motherless child in the post-game press conference, then you can go down on the field and dap everybody up after the game because you did your job. Nick Sheridan did his job. Number one, he mixed it up, pass game and run game. He threw many different formations out there on the field that confused LSU's defense and created leverage for Alabama. He also trusted the run game and leaned on this offensive line. And this offensive line paid off for him. Why? They blocked their tails off. Tyler Booker, Parker Brailsford, Robbie Oots, those guys cleared the way for Milroe and the backs to have success out there. So big ups to Nick Sheridan. He called a masterful game plan, and he learned from what happened against Georgia. First half against Georgia, Sheridan was hitting them. Bang, bang, boom. But he did not sustain it. What happened? Georgia's able to come back in the second half. Nick Sheridan against LSU was hitting them. Bang, bang, bam. But he also sustained it, right? And that allowed him to have this offense put 42 points on the scoreboard there against LSU. Big ups to Nick Sheridan. Number three, we learned this Alabama running back room, toughness and versatility. Give Robert Gillespie, Coach G, running backs coach, a lot of credit. He talks to this group about being unselfish. Even when the ball is not in your hands, how do you respond? How do you be engaged? How do you help out your teammate, your brother on the field? There were so many times where Justice Haynes, Jam Miller, they didn't have the ball, but what did they do? They got out there and they blocked for Jalen Milroe, springing him for big plays. Being unselfish. Jam Miller showcased the versatility as a receiver. 5 catches for 50 yards. 3 of those 5 catches, Eli, he converted a third down into a first down. So Jam showing you the versatility. Justice Haynes, the blocking ability. He also had a rushing touchdown. Had his 4th consecutive rushing touchdown against an SEC opponent since the South Carolina game, Eli? I think since South Carolina. He rushed for a touchdown against South Carolina. He rushed for a touchdown against Tennessee. He rushed for a touchdown against Missouri. This was the fourth consecutive SEC game where Justice Haynes put in a rushing touchdown. And then, how about Richard Young, baby? Back-to-back SEC games with the rushing touchdown for Richard Young, if I'm not mistaken. Did he have one against Mizzou? No, he didn't have one against Mizzou? Well, my apologies there. It was not a back-to-back game, but he did have a rushing touchdown against LSU. So there you go. He made plays against Missouri, the big 62-yard run, but Richard Young had a touchdown against LSU. So back-to-back SEC games where Richard Young at least has a big play in there. So there's that. So the running backs are showing you the versatility along with the toughness. We learned that. The fourth thing we learned, that swarm defense, y'all, is for real. It's swarming. Kane Womack. Bama, 21 takeaways since South Carolina, 21. Of those 21, 14 have come with Kane Womack in the cutoff black hoodie. That means, Coach Kane, wear that hoodie the rest of the season. You look like Batman out there, bruh. But hey, you getting them takeaways. Wear that hoodie the rest of the season. This Bama defense, 3 takeaways against LSU. You had 2 interceptions, one by Bray Hubbard, the other by D-Law. Jahad Campbell forcing a fumble there, strip sack was the 3rd takeaway. Bama defense on 3rd down, got off the field. LSU converted just 6 of 14 attempts on 3rd down. How about this Bama secondary, Eli? Kyron Lacy, this elite wide receiver for LSU, former transfer, didn't get his first catch until the 3rd quarter. Big job by the Alabama defensive secondary. So LSU didn't get a touchdown till 11 seconds left in the game. Oh, garbage touchdown. Didn't even really matter there. The game, for the most part, was 42-6. They didn't get the touchdown until 11 seconds left in the game. So, in the last 2 SEC games, Bama has only given up 1 touchdown. Big ups to Coach Kane. This defense, Jahad Campbell is looking more and more like a first-round linebacker against LSU. 12 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, a pass breakup, a quarterback hurry, a forced fumble. Jahad did his thing out there. D-Law, big pick by him. Had his best game of the season to this point. So that swarm defense is for real now. It took us some time. Them jokers for real now. Last but not least, what did we learn? Alabama's playing complementary football. They played complementary against LSU. The offense complemented the defense and vice versa. You saw defense got turnovers, offense got on the field, scored touchdowns. The offense did not let a takeaway by the defense go to waste. And when the offense scored, you saw juice by the defense to get back on the field to create another takeaway to put the ball back in the hands of his offense. So the offense and the defense played complementary football against LSU, and you need for this to keep on going. So that's what we learned from Alabama in the matchup there against the Tigers. But take a break here, folks, on the show. On Touch That Dial, we're just getting started. Upon our return, we're going to go to those phone lines, have your calls ready, have your energy ready. Let's go. Let's have a conversation. Line us up. We get to you, the Bama fans, after this.
TDA Plus is the all-new Ultimate Alabama Football package, perfect for any Alabama football fan. Not only do you get subscriber-only articles where you can stay up to date on everything that's going on with Alabama football, you also get our brand new video hub that features many podcasts and shows, including Steven's Report with Stephen M. Smith. With over 15 years of covering Alabama football, you get trusted information as Stephen goes in person to see the team, come back and break down to you what he saw live in person. You also get the Way It Is podcast with Stephen M. Smith, where he tells never heard before stories and crazy situations that happened during his 15-year tenure of covering Alabama football. You also get Justin and Dex, where they break down recruits like you've never seen it before, with exclusive behind-the-scenes information and exclusive interviews with recruits. You also get Justin's Recruiting Bites with Justin Smith, where you get the best up-close and personal recruiting information and even talks to you while he's on the road going to recruiting events. Alabama fans, you don't want to miss this huge offer for a jam-packed experience for only $7.95 per month. Visit touchdownalabama.com and become a TDA Plus member today.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
And we are back rocking and rolling to the action from the break on a Monday. Getting that work week started. Well, not that work week. Today was Veterans Day. But getting your week started off for you correctly. First and foremost, thanks to all of the brave men and women that fight protecting our rights in this country. Happy Veterans Day to all of you. For myself, happy Veterans Day to my dad, Kenneth Smith, my Uncle Willie, my Uncle Timmy, my Aunt Shirley. They all served in a branch of our U.S. military. So happy Veterans Day to all of you brave men and women. We appreciate all of you for what you do. But we're back into the action here. Phone lines open, 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to let your voice be made known on the show, 205-448-1358. One more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from all of you. We take our first call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, Stephen, this is Corey from Trustful. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Corey, Alabama, getting the win there over LSU. It was huge. It was a dominant win. You keep yourself in the college football playoff conversation. But how are you, Corey?
I'm doing great. I really enjoyed the win. Nothing better than emptying out Tiger Stadium, and looking forward to see how Alabama does finishing out the regular season. But wanted to run down a couple of things by you. One, do you think Alabama can survive the loss of Quindarius Robertson? Because he was a very good player, and I hate to know if this hurts us or not.
I'm looking. It's going to take a number of guys to cushion this blow, Corey, because Q-Rob was having a fantastic season. This is a young man with a tremendous story. He patiently waits behind so many other guys. You wait behind Will Anderson. You wait behind Chris Braswell. You wait behind Dallas Turner for your moment. And he took his moment this year. Here's a guy that had 7 tackles for loss. He's got 4 sacks. He's got, 6 quarterback hurries. Just done a really good job with his leadership. And you hate it for him. You hate the fact that he's been playing so well, and the injury came to end his season against the LSU. So it's going to take a number of different guys to fill that void left behind by a young man who was playing so well prior to Saturday.
I just hope we can survive the loss. So if Alabama goes to win more games in the postseason, we can survive it. But my other thing is, I know it's a Mercer. I know it's an FCS opponent. I just want you to know this. They're one of the top teams in the FCS, especially defensively. So Alabama cannot take Mercer lightly. And like I said, I know it's an FCS opponent. But if Alabama just has to stay locked in and not overlook a team like this, because, like I said, I know it's an FCS opponent, but if they got the tough game out of the way in LSU, as long as they don't stub their toe by overlooking opponents, they'll be in the playoff.
I feel like this, Corey. You look at Mercer. This is a team that has an option-like attack. They're going to throw a lot of things at you. They're 9-1 on the season, as you mentioned, the top team of the FCS division there. The main thing for Coach DeBoer is not only do you take this team seriously, you take this game seriously, which the players are, this team is, but also you get guys reps that they're going to need those moving forward. Like, this is a big game for Brayson Hubbard to continue his confidence. This is a big game for the number of guys at that Wolf linebacker position that are going to have to step up in the absence of Q Robinson. So this is a big game for them. This is a big game to get your first team offense in there, handle your business, do your responsibility, and then get off the field, not have any of those guys get hurt, and get your next guys in there to get them quality reps, quality opportunities. So this is a game, like you mentioned, you don't take Mercer lightly, absolutely not, but you get other guys into the football game to get them prepared because you're going to need those guys when you look at the longevity of games you're going to be playing here in the college football playoff. Appreciate Corey from Trustville calling in, getting us started here on a Monday. We take this call here. Well, we thought we had a call here, but continue to get your calls in. 205-448-1358 for number 2. Let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358. Gotta show some love to my man DP, not Dr. Pepper, but Don Parker with that 20. Dollar donation showing love right here. And Don Parker, he's always avid in the YouTube chat line. He talked about it. He was happy for Bama to have the performance that it had last week. But why did it take so long for Bama to pop it open like this against LSU? Don, I understand where you're coming from. We would have all have liked for this to happen prior to the LSU game. But personally, I like the fact that it had to happen right now. Due to sometimes it takes a little adversity and it takes you having to be woken up sometimes to get that sense of urgency and that fire under you to play to the style, right? We all would have loved it for it to have been earlier in the season, but the fact that it took place right now, Bama's showing you that it can play its best ball when it's absolutely needed. But we grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steve. This is Jake Pensacola. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you feeling, man?
I feel good about that win, man. 'Cause everybody doubted us, except for even college game day. Nick Saban's the only one that picked us to win. And everybody doubted us. Everybody thought we couldn't play like we played. And I just hope they don't feed into that rat poison. The king is back, Bama's back. Like, you see how we played after that Georgia win. We took Vanderbilt lightly. And as you can see, as we seen, Vanderbilt is not to be taken lightly.
Right.
But I feel like if we take the same approach like we did this game, the preparation, and we execute everything correctly, I feel like there is no stopping Bama. And I'm gonna ask you a question, Steve. I feel like we don't need to be in the SEC championship. I feel like there's just an extra game that we, of course, yes, it's a bye, but I feel like it's an extra game that we don't need. I feel like we as long as we get a home game on the first round, I feel like we good. What you think?
I look at it like this. As much as I would like for Alabama to be in Atlanta for the SEC championship, I agree that if you're not in the SEC title game, that's fine. That gives you another week to rest, another week to get some guys healed up, and you get yourself prepared to make a run in this playoff. Especially you're hosting a playoff game. You get yourself in between seeds 5 through 8, where you host a playoff game. Now you get you a chance to make you a legit run. And I feel like Alabama Nation would more so want to be in the playoff and make a run at that national championship early versus having to play the SEC championship game first.
I can agree with that. So let me ask you a question too. I know, I guess it's been a rumor saying that whoever loses the conference championship game, that the committee won't penalize them. But if we say, just so happen we go to see lose the SEC championship, we had 3 losses. How would the committee look at that? Because we got 4 ranked wins as of now. We got four ranked wins. That our 14 that we beat that's ranked. That's more than anybody else. But with that loss, how would the committee look at that? Nobody knows.
Jay, that's going to be the most interesting discussion because if you look at Alabama's schedule, just off strength of schedule, I think Bama's got the number 10 or the number 9 toughest schedule strength-wise in the country. They're in the top 10. You got 4 wins against teams in the top 25. Your loss to Vanderbilt is really quality because Vanderbilt's going to he's going to a good bowl game right now. Your win over South Carolina took down Texas A&M. South Carolina's got a chance to finish the year out at 9-3. So that now is looking like a very quality win too. So I don't know how the committee's going to look at this. If Bama was to make the SEC championship game and lose and have 3 losses, but you got 4 wins over top 25 teams, your loss to Vanderbilt's a quality one, and your close win to South Carolina, if South Carolina ends up winning out and they go 9-3, that's a very good schedule that you have there. So it'll be very tough on the committee.
I agree with that. That's all I got, Steve. I appreciate you, Steve. Keep up the great work, man. Glad to see you back in the studio. Have a good night. Roll Tide.
Appreciate Jay from Pensacola calling in, giving his thoughts here on the show. I mean, Eli, that'd be tough for the committee, though. I mean, it would be because, and I'm not saying, me personally, I would love for Alabama to get into the SEC title, but I'm not going to cry if it doesn't get in there because you would get an extra week to rest and you could now prepare to host a playoff game to start this run. But let's say if Alabama was to get in, if more chaos ensues and Alabama was to get in the SEC championship game, and it plays a great title game, but it falls short, and it gets a 3rd loss, the committee would have a hard time keeping Alabama out of it because it has 4 wins against ranked top 25 teams. You can't say, well, they lost to Vandy. Texas almost lost to Vandy. Vandy ain't old Vandy no more. That's a quality loss. And then your win over South Carolina, if the Gamecocks went out, they're 9-3. So, man, that's going to be crazy right there. Continue to get your thoughts in. 205-448-1358 for the number to call to let your voice be made known on the show. 205-448-1358. Want to hear from all of you. Cool call topic here, Eli. Bama's about to have another night game. What is this, 5 now, Eli? Is this 5? You had Western Kentucky at night. You had South Florida at night. Georgia at night. LSU at night. And now here comes the 5th night game, and this one is on the road in Norman, Oklahoma. You got to play the Sooners under Brent Venables at night. 6:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff. ABC will have the call. Another night game. Another electric, interesting environment. Here we go. Bama of a night game in Norman. as the Crimson Tide take on the Sooners Saturday, November 23rd, the week before the Old Iron Bowl. Here we go. Here we go, folks. You got Bama and you got Oklahoma Saturday, November 23rd. We're taking another break right here, folks. When we get back, we address the wolf position for Alabama. After an injury to Q-Rob and a suspension that happened, how does this wolf position set up for the Crimson Tide? We'll dive into it after this. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh yeah, this. Oh, man. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans, brave men and women protecting our rights here in this country. United States of America. Happy Veterans Day to all of you. Monday, we're rocking and rolling right here from the break. Hottest show on the streets. Talking your Bama football news in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Continue hitting the like button, smashing that thumbs up there, hitting that subscribe button as well, making this your channel for all things Bama football. The daily Super Chat go, $100 daily. Super Chat go $100 right there. But topic 2, E-Live conversation, the wolf position. Outside linebacker spot here for Alabama. This is one of the positions where it entered the season with a lot of depth. That spot, a lot of bodies there. Now that depth has taken a bit of a small hit due to what has recently taken place. You've got 2 guys out at this point. You've got Quandarius Robinson, Q-Rob, an update on him, and an update on former 4-star redshirt junior linebacker Keanu Coote. So, the update on Quandarius Robinson, we all know Q-Rob out for the year with the upper body injury, a wrist injury. He suffered that against LSU over the weekend. Q-Rob came off the field holding his wrist and some pain there. I didn't think it was that bad early on, Eli, but after further evaluation, comes out, he will miss the remainder of the season. And it hurts for Q-Rob because, like I mentioned, the story, right? 5th-year guy, waited his time, sat behind some incredible guys. In this day and age where if you're not playing immediately, you go to the transfer portal, you go elsewhere, Q-Rob showed that patience. Different guy. Stayed around, and this year was reaping the benefits of his patience. Once again, 7 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 6 quarterback hurries, was having a big year prior to the injury. So definitely hopes and prayers to him, strong recovery that he gets ready for the next level, which is the NFL draft. But then you look at Keanu Coote, and he did not travel with the team to LSU. And today, Kane Womack, defensive coordinator, Kalen DeBoer, head coach, both said Coote has been suspended for undisclosed amount of time. Nobody knows what Coot did, but he has been suspended. So he will not play against Mercer this week. We do not know when he'll be able to rejoin the team. Coot suspended. So with him facing this situation and Q-Rob out due to injury, what happens at Wolf linebacker? We know the immediate starter is Quay Russaw. That much we know. But who comes behind him? Do we see some shifting? Do we see some adjusting happening? Well, let's break this down, shall we? Do it. So in place, behind Quay Russaw, here are some names that could be looked at here at that Wolf backer spot. Number one, Yonsei Pierre, right? Yonsei, who came in, recruited at this position in the 2023 signing class, former five-star from Eufaula High School in Alabama, the cousin to Courtney Upshaw. Yonsei, 6'3", 239 pounds. He got some extensive playing time early in the season when Quay was banged up. Pierre this year, I think he's got 4 tackles, a couple of pass breakups, and a forced fumble on the season, if I'm not mistaken there. So that's, Yonsei's stat line right there. So he's gotten some playing time this season. He's got a mindset to want to be great, want to rush the passer, want to stop the run. There's Yonsei Pierre. You also have Jihad Campbell. Campbell can play Wolf. Campbell can play every position in that linebacker room. At 6'3", 244 pounds, Campbell's a dog. We have seen him grow in his ability to rush the quarterback. We saw it against Garrett Nussmeier over the weekend. Got to him, affected him quite a bit, made him uncomfortable, strip sack, forced a fumble, ball was recovered by Tim Smith. Jihad Campbell had 1.5 sacks against the Tigers. So he's a guy, you could slide him at that Wolf spot. You can do that. Campbell, the New Jersey native, played rush linebacker in high school. He can handle that position. If Kane Womack wanted to switch it up and move Campbell to that spot. Last but not least here, Keon Keeley could be the Wolf. And here's a guy that a lot of you as Bama fans have been wondering. Keeley's been the big enigma. It's been, where is Keeley? He's 6'5", 277 pounds, big body, former five-star from Florida, out of high school, came in that 2023 class. Where is Keeley? Where he at? Here's a shot for him right here at that Wolf position. Going back to spring ball and fall camp, what did Kane Womack say? Keon Keeley could be a bandit, but he could also be a Wolf with his body type. Here's a shot here for Keon Keeley. He could play at that Wolf position as a stand-up rush linebacker. This was what he was recruited for initially by Nick Saban. Yes, under Kane Womack, he's transitioned to being a field side bandit defensive end, but he was initially recruited as an outside linebacker. So Keon Keeley, this could be an opportunity for him at that Wolf spot. Should Freddie Roach, Christian Robinson, Kane Womack, they all kind of work together here to kind of see, do you want to unleash Keeley at the Wolf moving forward with Q-Rob out due to injury and with this suspension here to Keanu Coote. This also brings up Justin Jefferson for a moment. Why does it bring up Justin Jefferson? Well, because Kane Womack has also mentioned the idea of wanting to have 3 inside linebackers on the field at the same time. Those 3, D-Law, Campbell, Justin Jefferson. How do you make that happen? Well, if you move Jihad Campbell to Wolf primarily on 3rd down, so hear me out here, Eli. 1st and 2nd down, Quay Russo would be your wolf. You would still have Campbell at the Mike linebacker, Dingall at the Sting linebacker, correct? Once you get the third down, your pressure down, right? You can take Russo, bring him to the sideline, move Campbell to Wolf, have Justin Jefferson as your Sting backer, and put Dingall at Mike. And that would give you your package of having your 3 inside linebackers on the field at the same time. And that would be crazy awesome, but that would work, right? Because Campbell has the experience playing that rush off-ball linebacker in high school. And he's showing you he can play all across the board at that linebacker spot. So this would give Justin Jefferson a chance to pop more if you move on those pass rushing downs, you move Campbell to Wolf, you put Dingall at Mike, and you have Jefferson as the Sting linebacker. Does Kane Womack go that direction? We'll see, but it kind of gives you some things you can do to that rotation to help you out at that Wolf backer spot with all that's happened now since the LSU game. We're going to go to a break right here, folks. We'll touch that down. When we get back, we go to the phone lines. We grab more of your calls. How do you see how do you see this happening, Bama Nation, at Wolf? Do you like what I'm saying? Is there something that you as the fan would like to see implemented there at that spot? What has transpired? We get to you, the Bama Nation, after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, here we go. Back into the action from the break. Number one ticket for your Crimson Tide. Football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have my man Ingall Walker in the production studio. Continue hitting the like button, smashing that thumbs up right there, getting those like levels going. Hitting that subscribe button as well, making this your show, your spot, your network for all things Tide football. The Daily Super Chat Go, $100. Daily Super Chat Go, $100 there. We appreciate that coming from you. But the phone line's open. Time for you to get your opinions in. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. We want to hear from all of you. As you're getting yourself prepared to call in here, folks, we got a cool call topic, Elon. College football playoff rankings. The second batch of them come out tomorrow, Tuesday, on ESPN. Where will Bama be in this week's rankings, right? Bama started off at number 11. You beat LSU. Manhandled them in Tiger Stadium. You had some other teams to lose last week. Miami lost to Georgia Tech. That was something. Georgia falls to Ole Miss. That was something. Michigan lost. You had some teams to lose last week. Where does Bama go to now? Where does Bama advance to? The AP Eli put Bama at 9. But if Bama moves up to 8 or 7, now it's hosting a playoff game. Should have went out. Now it's hosting a playoff game. Now it's gone from traveling to play somebody to now hosting a playoff game. It'll be very intriguing to see where the committee has Alabama on tomorrow. After the Crimson Tide handle business and other teams suffered losses, where does Alabama end up on tomorrow? It'll be fun to take that in. But taking our final break here on the show. Don't touch that down. When we get back, we wrap things up with this. Is Alabama officially now? Does Bama officially now have an identity on both sides of the ball? We'll wrap things up with that after this.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama, and you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
All right, people, here we go. We're back locked and loaded to the action from the break here. Number one ticket for your Crimson Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA on a Monday, Veterans Day. And a happy Veterans Day to all of the brave men and women fighting for our rights, protecting our rights here in this country. But Eli, discussion topic here to wrap this thing up. Does Bama officially have an identity on both sides of the ball? Following the LSU game, I think it has one. It's got to continue it. Absolutely, but I think it has one. Defensively, the Swarm defense is alive. It's knocking the ball off of players. It's creating takeaways. Bama getting off the field better on third down. Alabama harassing the quarterback more. The last 2 games, it's only given up 1 touchdown. So that defense has found its identity. It's found its swagger. In the secondary, it took a while for a lot of these guys, but they have now unlocked full on the Womack system, and they're having success with it. The defense has found it. Offensively, I think Nick Sheridan has found the understanding of being able to trust the run game in a variety of ways. But now all he's got to do is add back the explosive passing game piece that Alabama had at the beginning of the year. If it can add back the explosive passing game piece to what it has now and having sustained drives, because the last 2 games, Eli, have you noticed? Bama's putting together sustained drives. Bama's putting together 8, 9, 10, 12 play drives ending in touchdowns now. And that was the issue earlier in the season. It was, well, Bama's too explosive. Bama doesn't have any drives where it's wearing down the opponent. Well, now Bama's having drives where it's wearing down the opponent, but it's not getting the explosive quick stuff in the passing game. So if it can find a way to put both elements together, then the offense has its identity. I think the defense has found theirs, but it's now time for the offense to have a marriage here with the explosive passing game and the ability to wear teams down and sustain drives. Alabama can have that marriage there offensively, then the offense would have found its concrete identity. But it's trending, though, in the right direction. I will say that. It's trending in the right direction to find it. And the win over LSU was a big step. Big step. Yes, we would have liked to have seen this earlier in the season. Absolutely. But it's best that this has happened now because it means that you are starting to hit your peak. You don't want to hit your peak now. You want to start building towards your peak. Now, you want to start hitting that peak in the playoff. And then ultimately the national championship game. Should you make it there. But Alabama is trending in the right direction here with the victory over LSU. I think the defense has found what it is. The offense continuing to fine-tune some things. But as always, you want the best in news, notes, information, material on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get that by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. If you have the Android phone for your audio needs, check us out. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. Good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll try to be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation. It's time football. All right, Bama fans, if you haven't done so, the season's winding down. What are you waiting for? You get that subscription to touchdownalabama.com. You do that today so that you can feel like an insider, that you can feel like you are in the know. Get you that subscription to touchdownalabama.com, where you can have all Bama in the palm of your hands there. That subscription. Guys, show some love to all of you, the Bama fans, for the donations, chatting in the YouTube chat line, the phone calls tonight. You making this your show, your spot for all things Bama football. Gotta appreciate my man Eli Walker in the production studio. Till next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing, too. Not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man Stephen Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.